Hello Internet and welcome to another episode of Automotive Karnage. We're going to do things a little bit different today and we're going to work on someone else's car. Okay, so for this episode I've been asked by a friend to install a new head unit in her car. But this is a rather large head unit. This is going to be the biggest thing I've ever done in regards to car stereo. This is awesome. So, because it's such an impressive and large box, I thought we could open it up and see what's inside. Because apparently unboxing stuff on the internet is a huge rage, so let's do it. Alright, so this has been ordered from a company within Australia called DIG Options. They're options for life. That's a very interesting tagline. But by the looks of it, they have like a central unit that they put inside their head units, and then they just customize their casing to fit different vehicles. And it encompasses so much technology, it's actually really cool. So anyway, inside our box, this is a really big box, this is awesome. What's better is I didn't pay for it. That's the invoice. We have cables. Cables are handy. I don't know what those cables are for. We have a reversing camera. I know what that one is. So obviously your RCA video lead, and then a power trigger lead from your reversing light. What will be in there. And then in this little package, if we can get it out. There we go. Little reversing camera. That is a tidy little unit. And all over there. Well, that goes with that. And that. Alright. What's this one? This is, I'm going to say this is a speaker for the hands-free set. Hands-free kit. GPS antenna. So that's really cool. Oh, here we go. We've got one more. Now this one is the Wi-Fi antenna. So that's rather interesting. You just connect your car stereo to your Wi-Fi now, because that's important. Alright, another box here. We have remote control, more instructions. I've already read those ones, so that's okay. An empty bag. Empty bags are very handy. What have we got here? Auxiliary. Oh, I guess we'll find out what that's for sooner or later. RCA leads on that though, so that's interesting. Oh, user manual. Here we go. We might need that later on. And then we just have a very large selection of cables. This one is USB input. This one is another USB input. And I'll say if this is if you're playing, you're seeing a DVD in. That's okay. Instructions will tell us. And then the wiring, like this is what I want to see. How easy is this going to be? Is this going to be a plug and play, or do we need to solder some wires? Looking at that chunky connector, this is all plug and play. This is fantastic. Alright, nice little box there. What's that? GM for Buick Chevrolet. User manual should tell us what that little box is for, because those labels sure don't. Oh, it's an aerial. The aerial has a very unusual connector on it, so that's interesting. That's okay. We'll play with that. And that appears to be an external speaker for, again, I'll say your hands-free set. Right. That's everything in the small boxes. Now it's time to show you what the actual unit looks like. Play dramatic music. Dun, 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 dun. This thing's a bit of a monster. Right, start with our main unit first. And it's very happy to see you. Yep, it's a silver box, but all the good stuff's inside. We have multiple ports on the back for connection, and a nice, very handy, very English diagram on top to explain what goes where. So that's going to make my job a hang of a lot easier. But I'll read that later. That's okay, put that onto there. And then pretty much the only part you will see of this whole system is the large touchscreen interface. At least I'm led to believe it's touchscreen. So that's pretty snazzy. The factory one, as you'll see when we get into the car, is only a small little LCD screen that shows you what radio station you're listening to, the volume, that kind of stuff. But this one should be a lot nicer to see and a lot nicer to use as well. So that's everything that's inside the box. Now we gotta take it from inside the box to inside the car. Let's go do that. Okay, so firstly, I apologise for doing this at night time, but it's the only time I've got available at the moment. But hopefully for lighting you can see what's going on. We're going to make today's episode a bit of a kind of how-to video for anyone else who has a Holden Cruze 2009 to 2015, I think it's the year. Chassis codes are JH and JG. I'll correct myself in the text if I've got that wrong. But anyway, we're just going to get into it. So the first thing we want to do is take this fascia off here. It's right connected, and apparently it's a bit hard to pop off, but with a couple of trim popping tools, you'll be right. Okay, so you can see now if the fascia completely removed from up here and around here, it leaves us a lot of room to get in. Next thing we need to do is to take this face here off. Now these little bolts are 932. Because this car is made for the American market, it has a lot of imperial measurements on it, which is rather irritating here in Australia. But nonetheless, we have the tools for the job. So as I said, we'll take this off because the stereo behind it dips just behind there, so we can't sneak it out without causing more damage. So we get out of the way and then we can start removing all of this gear. Okay, so this car has proven to be a bit of a Meccano set, and it's very simple to pull apart. You just got to be gentle when pulling some of the parts out, just so you don't cause any extra damage. But besides that, it's come up really smoothly. You're able to leave all the connectors in the back of the control panel and just hold that to the side. This was a little bit, the display screen was a little bit tricky to get out because it kind of sits behind the lip in here, so you got to be gentle with that one. Basically undo the bolt to the bottom and then just wriggle it out. You'll eventually get there. We did notice with the plug that goes into the back of the buttons that sit here, that there's a little blue connector in there. Now what that does is that stops the tab from being pushed down. So you've got to pull that out first, and then you're able to release that as you normally would. Right, so we're going to pull this one out now. Let's do that. So just off camera, we've made some really good progress with running our cables. On this side we have our Bluetooth speaker, and over here we have our video feed for our reversing camera, our connector for our GPS antenna, and also our Wi-Fi antenna. Now we're going to put all our cabling in and then dummy fit everything and make sure it all turns on and runs sweetly. So now our smiling radio looks like some weird tentacle alien, but that's cool, that's only dummy fit. Let's just see if it all works first. Key in, on, nothing. Oh, just because we forgot our power interface. Right, keys in, turn the car on. Oh, look at that main menu. It even does what doors are open. That's cool. Oh, where's it going? What's happening? Oh, we're loading navigation. Why are we loading navigation? External power, I hope external power. Oh, okay. Well, hey, the navigation's in the right place, so that's cool. It works. It picks up radio. That's fantastic. We're going to call it there for the night, and we'll come back in the morning and we'll actually use the daylight to help run our cables so we can put all our sensors and other bits and pieces up. But if you're just here trying to learn how to put your radio into one of these cruises? This is Cruze? Learning how to put a radio into your Cruze, that's pretty much it. Now it's just the reverse and pull it all back together. But yeah, we'll come back tomorrow morning and we'll start running sensors and cables. kind of forgot I was meant to be filming with you when I ran these cables. But anyway, the reversing camera is in. Today we won't have time for the other 3 antennas. That's next weekend's job. But anyway, I'll show you what I've done already. Okay, so we're going to start at the head unit side. Now our tentacle happy monster is gone and been replaced with the happy fellow again with a long nose. But anyway, down here, so the easiest route I found to run cabling for if you're doing a subwoofer or if you're doing reversing camera like we are or anything else, is down here. Try to go over top of the heater motor because it is a pretty bulky unit. It takes up the whole area behind this dash here. So it was kind of up and over, and then that ran down into the footwell. Oh, as you can see, the cables are there for the other antennas. We ran them, we just don't have time to run them up the dash here. But as for the reversing camera, pop this off the center, run through the back door. There's a little one there that needs to come off. Be careful, these things are really tough, so just be gentle, but you'll be able to pop them off eventually. Under the seat, through here, and then on the back here, there it is. The reversing camera still needs to be adjusted. As for inside the boot, all this panel here has to come off, and then I'll run our cables down along the factory loom and into the back of the headlight that's back here. For reversing sensor. So that's what we've done there, and now it's just a nice case of putting it all back together. And there we have it. It's all put back together the way the factory intended, but now with a fancy touchscreen. So that looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? I mean, that's factory, and that's what we've got now. So that's cool. All right, let's take it for a test run and see what happens. All right, radio.
Dusky, the son of Benny and Dusky,
Yep.
the late.
That works, so that's awesome. Now the big one though is the reversing camera. Does the reversing camera work? So we're on radio now, check and reverse. Check that out. It needs to be adjusted, obviously, it's pointing too far down. But once we've adjusted it, that's this job done. We can clean it out, give it a good wipe down, and give it back to the customer.